There are a lot of heroes that can be found in the Philippines. The vision of the One is to find the unsung hero in every country. Can you imagine the impact, the difference we can make? I want to do great things. I'm a nobody. I will keep on trying to do great things, but only if I can do it with great impact. The One allows us to do that.
Good morning, Rotarians. These are our house rules for DTA 2021. Our first rule: please mute your microphone. The second rule: be mindful of background noise. The third rule: position your camera properly. The fourth rule: limit distractions. And finally, our last rule: avoid multitasking. Thank you. We hope you will enjoy and learn from the lectures that we have prepared for you.
Good morning, everyone. As the incoming District Governor, we now resume the District Training Assembly.
Good morning, Rotarians from District 3790. Welcome to the second and final day of District Training Assembly 2021. To start the plenary session this morning, may I call on current President Carlito Tolitz Villanueva of the Rotary Club of Baguio Summer Capital to introduce the speaker on the Rotary Foundation.
He was an interactor at the age of 15 and a rotaractor at the age of 16. He served as District Rotaractor Representative of District 3800 at the age of 23. DRR is the highest position in Rotaract, just like a governor. He became a Rotarian at the age of 26. He became a president of RC Marikina District 3800 at the age of 36. Even before serving as president of his club, he was appointed by his governor, PD Jelina Aurelio, as the PETS chairman of his own club, batch of president in 1996. He was appointed by PD Jelina Aurelio to 3 district positions: PETS chairman, New Generations, chairman, and Urban Peace chair. He handled the 3 district positions concurrent with his being the president of his club. He emerged as the most outstanding president of District 3800 during Rotary year 1996-1997. During his term, it was a banner year for District 3800 due to the spectacular record-breaking performance on TRF and membership growth. District 3800 emerged as the TRF champion during the Rotary year 2010-2011 with a total collection in the amount of 355,000 and first placer on membership in terms of percentage growth for the whole Philippines, Indonesia, Australia. He is a major donor of Rotary Foundation Level 3. He is now serving as Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator for Zone 10A Philippines. He is a CPA lawyer by profession and happily married to International Director of Inner Wheel International, past National President Zeni Farcon, with whom he has 3 children, JJ, Jojo, and Zara, all professionals in their own right. Just recently, he was awarded by Rotary International the highest award that can be given to a Rotarian, the Service Above Self Award. Please welcome Global District Governor, past District Governor Virgilio June Farcon.
Transforming Governor Jess Sama, life-changing Governor Willie Serafica, my partner EMGA Jess Tigdao, my colleagues at the Council of Governors of District 3790, transforming and life-changing district officers and presidents, my fellow Rotarians, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Before we can connect to the future, we must first visit our past. At the 1917 Atlanta Rotary International Convention, it was Arch Clump, the 6th president of Rotary International, who proposed the idea of setting up an endowment fund for Rotary. In 1929, Arch Clump wrote a letter to all club presidents, and he said, and I quote, "We should not live for ourselves alone, but for the joy of doing good for others." They say when you look at the building, you just don't look at its appearance. You look at the construction of the foundation that can stand the test of time. This is exactly what we do in our Rotary Foundation. Rotarians build the foundation themselves that can stand the test of time. From small beginnings, start great things. Rotary is an organization you can trust and support with confidence. The Rotary Foundation is funded solely by Rotarians' donations. From the initial contribution to the endowment fund in 1917, the amount of $26.50, this has grown to $3.8 billion by the end of Rotary year 2019-2020. We should be very proud of our foundation and its impact. Over the last 104 years, Rotarians have spent over $4.3 billion on life-changing projects through foundation programs, helping countless number of people and countless of number of hours have been volunteered. Our foundation is unique and amazing. From small contributions collected at Rotary Club's meetings to million-dollar donations, gifts to the Rotary Foundation supports its mission of advancing world understanding, goodwill, and peace. This is our foundation, which has been doing good for more than 104 years. Every year, the Rotary Foundation is being rated by Charity Navigator. If you are familiar with Charity Navigator, this is the one tasked to rate all foundations all over the world, most especially those in the United States. The highest rating that it can give to a foundation is 4 stars. You know what was the grade given on accountability and transparency? Yes, it's a perfect score of 100%. On financial health, it's again a perfect score of 100%. And on overall score and rating, it is 98%. Charity Navigator gave us a 4-star rating, the highest it can give to a foundation. And do you know how many years the Rotary Foundation was given a 4 stars rating? 13 consecutive years. And part of this rating is the findings that the Charity Navigator, and part of this rating is the findings of Charity Navigator that we spend 92% of the funds directly on programs and projects. The average worldwide is just 70%, but not so in the case of the Rotary Foundation. It's one of the highest, if not the highest, at 92%. We have dedicated approximately 92% of the Rotary Foundation's total spending to programs over the past 10 years and minimize our administrative expenses, 6% spent on fundraising expenses, and 2% on administrative expenses. These 10 charities work throughout the USA and the world. They are large, complex organizations with budgets exceeding 100 million and assets and 65 million in net assets. They became household names in part because of their exceptional financial management. No easy feat, considering the scope and size of their operations. Charitable givers should feel confident that this institution put their donations. Charitable givers should feel confident that this institution put their donations to good use. Look at the Rotary Foundation. We are tied to the first place with a rating of 100% of the top 10 charities in the world. Charity Navigator wrote a letter to the Rotary Foundation to inform us that all over the world, there are only 1% of the foundations worldwide which are similarly situated. And clearly, the Rotary Foundation outperforms other charities in the United States. And this exceptional designation from Charity Navigator sets the Rotary Foundation apart from its peers and demonstrates to the public its trustworthiness. Simply put, the rating reflects Charity Navigator's assessment of how the Rotary Foundation uses donations, sustains its programs and services, and practices good governance and openness. It's really about integrity and trustworthiness, where our partners, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is supporting us by matching the funds we raise with a 1:2 match. So for every dollar that we raise, it is being matched by $2 by the Gates Foundation. So imagine if there's no trust, then there's no Bill and Melinda Gates. a match for end polio. Once we break this trust, there will be no global partners to eradicate polio in this world. If there's no integrity and trust, no Gates, no WHO, no CDC, no UNICEF, and no governments of the world will entertain us. Now let's go to the top 4 priorities of the foundation. Number 1 is, of course, polio eradication. This is the number 1 priority of our entire organization. We must finish the job. It is true that in the past, we have seen increases in the number of cases. Yes, this is a concern, but it is a challenge we anticipated. Remember that 18 million people are walking polio-free today because of Rotary. We are now down to only 2 countries reporting with the wild polio virus, Pakistan and Afghanistan. We will finish the job. We are this close in ending polio, and the good part is this will happen in our country. The second priority is achieving the foundation's comprehensive target of 410 million. I will tell you later what is the status of our target. Number 3 is encourage Rotarians to make gifts to our foundation's endowment fund. And last is Rotary Peace Centers program. Just recently, the Rotary Foundation received a very big donation in the amount of $16.6 million for the establishment of another Rotary Peace Center. How are we doing on our target goals? As of March 31, 2021, we have already collected the amount of 328 million out of the 410 million target this year. We are doing just fine with end polio and endowment fund targets, but we're still lagging behind on annual fund. Hopefully, this can still increase in the last quarter of the year. This slide will give you the status of global grants for this year. We are again having a record-breaking number of global grants totaling 1,706 projects. The top 3 areas of focus are disease and prevention, ranked as number 1, followed by water and sanitation, and in 3rd place is community and economic development. On global grants for COVID-related projects, we have 366 projects worth $26.7 million. And disaster response grants amounted to $7.8 million. Strong Rotary by a strong foundation. Rotary would not be the organization it is today because it would not be supported for more than 104 years by our Rotary Foundation. Our Rotary Foundation is what it is today because of Rotarians like you who supported it. Our Rotary Foundation is what it is today because of Rotarians like you who supported it in the most dedicated and committed manner. And because of this support, we were able to bring to our communities global grants way above what we have given to the foundation. In 2 years alone, we were able to get close to $1.5 million for your district in terms of global grants. On behalf of the Rotary Foundation, I would like to thank the many generous donors to our foundation from District 3790. Thank you to our 370 Paul Harris Fellows, 8 major donors, 3 major gifts, 33 benefactors, 1,180 area eligible, and 694 sustaining members. Thank you for making Zone 10A Philippines as the number 8 contributor to our foundation in total giving, number 7 on annual fund, and number 7 in per capita worldwide. Let us see how your district is doing as against the other districts in Zone 10A. As of May 15, 2021, your district is number 6 in annual fund and number 6 in total giving. It's just doing fine, but we have to push more and seek out our generous Rotarians who regularly give to the foundation. As compared with the same period last year, your TRF giving increased by 36%. This deserves a virtual round of applause. By the way, this is surprising, but do you know that this year's total giving is even higher than last year by 6.37%? What is the logical explanation to this increase? I just want to say, do not underestimate the generosity of Philippine Rotarians who take advantage of the opportunities to give more despite the COVID pandemic in our midst. I salute our Philippine Rotarians for being very resilient. May COVID pandemic na, tinamaan pa ng sunod-sunod na bagyong matitindi, si Quinta, si Rolly, at Ulysses, and yet, nag-increase pa ang contributions as compared to last year. My friends, this deserves another virtual round of applause. This slide will give you the performance of your district as compared to the performance of the whole Zone 10A Philippines. You are above average on annual fund, endowment, and total giving, but below average on per capita, polio, and other giving. By the way, thank you for the $463,087 in total giving, the highest record of your district in the last 5 years. My friends, this deserves another virtual round of applause. Just remember this, no matter how you choose to give, I hope you will join me in supporting our foundation with a gift to the annual fund this year. I will tell you later why annual fund. Remember, gifts of any size have a big impact when they're leveraged through our foundation and our network of Rotarians here and around the world. You can see this slide. You can see that $50 is the cost of polio vaccine. $50 is the cost of water filter. $85 is the tuition fee of a vocational class. $100 is the cost of a sewing machine. $150 is the cost of a hand washing station. And with $200, you can buy a medical equipment. And $500 only is what it takes to have an anti-bullying campaign. Supporting the Rotary Foundation can be done in 3 ways. You can support the End Polio Fund, the Annual Fund, and the Endowment Fund. When you contribute to the foundation, this is how it looks. The annual fund contributions and the spendable earnings of the endowment fund will go to the share system. This is called the share cycle. What we raised in Rotary year 2018-19 and governor during that time, still remember, it was past district governor Panding Mise, and we raised the amount of 342,642. This amount will be invested for 2 years, and on the 3rd year, this will be used by Rotary year 2021-22 under the leadership of District Governor-elect Willie Serapita. 50% or 171,321 goes back to your district in the form of district designated fund, and the other 50% or 171,321 goes to World Fund. How do we fund our projects under the share system? When we contribute to annual fund, 50% of our contribution come back to our district. You know this already, through district designated funds in 3 years. These funds can be used for global grants and district grants. The other 50% will go to World Fund. This is another diagram of the share system. We know already about the 50% going to district designated fund after 3 years. You might want to ask, how about the other 50%, which will go to the World Fund? What does the World Fund support? The World Fund contributes to global grants. When we match the DDF, the fund comes from World Fund. Polio Plus. This World Fund is also used to match the DDF donations to Polio Plus. Peace Center programs, other grants, program operations or operating expenses, excluding polio, fund development and general administration. You see, 5% of annual fund is automatically reserved or earmarked. Programs of scale grants, and last, special trustee initiatives like the COVID response grants. Let us use the Rotary year 2019-20 as our example on what are the items being charged at the World Fund. On July 1, 2019, the balance of World Fund stood at $82 million. Now, where did this amount of $82 million came from? Number one, from the annual fund share system, 45% of the 2016-2017 annual fund. Remember, the annual fund goes back after 3 years. So 2016-17 annual fund, then goes to 2019-2020 annual fund, amounting to $60.9 million. 5% of the 2016-2017 annual fund, amounting to $6.7 million. Other funding sources, endowment fund earnings in the amount of $6.9 million. Direct donations to the World Fund at $4.4 million. 5% of cash donations to TRF grants, which are earmarked to support operating expenses. And area of focus earmarked donations, $1.4 million. The total of these funding sources is $82 million. From this amount of $82 million, we deduct the expenditures for Rotary year 2019-2020 in the amount of $84.1 million. I will show you the breakdown of this amount in my next slide. So the balance of the World Fund at the end of the Rotary year 2019-2020, which is June 30, 2020, was negative or deficit 2.1 million. You ask me, is this good or bad? Well, this is good in the sense that we were able to spend $84 million, but this is bad since the balance of the World Fund is just 82 million. So we now have a cash deficit of 2.1 million. In any business, deficit is always avoided because you are spending more than what you have. This is the breakdown of the 84.1 million expenditures for World Fund for Rotary year 2019-2020. As you can see, we spent on Polio Plus, 8.4 million, global grants, 40.3 million, other grants, 0.1 million, disaster response grants, 3 million, Peace Center program, 0.01 million, program operations excluding polio, 18.8 million, and fund development and administrative expenses, 13.5 million, with a total of 84.1 million. So what is happening is our expenditures are more than the projected balance of the World Fund. This slide will tell you the trend of our annual fund and the global grants. When we started in 2013, this is the year where we started the global grants, up to 2019, 2020, where we had the first deficit of the World Fund. As you can see, the trend of the annual fund, where we get the World Fund is somehow increasing, but after the highest in 2016-17, it is now on a decline, in at least succeeding 2 years. On the other hand, look at the chart of the global grant. It keeps on increasing from 2013 up to 2019. In just 5 years, we have doubled the amount of global grants from the 2013 startup year, where we spent $47.3 million, to the 2019 figures of close to $90 million. Is this good or bad? Well, this is good in the sense that the more global grants we give to our communities will go a long way in having a positive impact and making a difference in the lives of our beneficiaries. It's also bad in the sense that if we do not address this deficit problem, this deficit can balloon to disastrous proportions. Beginning July 1, 2020, the Rotary Foundation Board of Trustees made some policy changes which are all designed to preserve the balance of the World Fund in the long run. On global grants, it was made easier by reducing the minimum amount that can be funded by international partners from the original 30% minimum to 15%. Effective July 1, 2020, all cash contributions will have no match from the World Fund, but DDF contributions will still get 100% match. The zero match will continue next year. Beginning July 1, 2021, all annual fund share contributions will first have 5% directed to operating expenses, and the remaining will then be split equally between the World Fund and DDF. For example, a $100 contribution will generate $5 for operating expenses, or 5%, and the remaining $95 will be divided equally with $47.50 for DDF and $47.50 for the World Fund. This slide will tell you what is happening now on the left side and what will happen after July 1, 2021 on the right side. The World Fund match of DDF will be reduced from 100% to 80% when being used for global grants beginning July 1, 2021. Instead of DDF applied to global grants receiving 100% match from the World Fund, the global grants match will decrease to 80%. So for the 2020-21 Rotary year, which is this year, as long as funds remain available, the DDF will continue to be matched at 100% for applications submitted by May 31. So you still have global grants applications. You still have until May 31 to submit them, and they can still enjoy 100% match. And it has to be approved by June 3rd. This is also new. At the end of this Rotary year, the DDF that has been held for more than 5 years will be applied at the district's discretion to either Polio Plus, Area of Focus Endowment Funds, or General Endowment Fund, including Rotary Peace Center, Disaster Response Fund, or the World Fund. So the first DDF rollover redirection will take place on July 1, 2026. So starting July 1, 2026, district can choose now to apply any rollover funds remaining from this year as outlined. If a district doesn't advise the foundation about how to direct those funds, the rollover DDF will automatically be directed to the World Fund. DDF contributions transferred to Polio Plus will be matched at 50% instead of 100% by the World Fund. Before, this will be matched by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will continue to match 2:1 for every dollar that Rotary commits to polio eradication, up to $50 million per year. This is good news for Rotaract. Rotaract will now be eligible to apply for global grants effective July 1, 2022. In the meantime, because this is just 2021, it will be advisable to allow our Rotaract clubs to partner first with their sponsoring Rotary clubs on global grants, or perhaps give them the opportunity to participate in a district grant project in cooperation with their sponsoring club. Remember, the share system is a funding model which builds our financial strength by ensuring that resources are available to meet current needs, both for programs and operating expenses. This funding model establishes a reserve to provide for unusual financial events, or what we call a rainy day fund, the operating reserve. And this funding model ensures an increase in future programs through increased returns on the endowment fund. all of these are just remedial measures. Once we have accumulated enough annual fund or that goes to the World Fund, or a better return on the spendable earnings from the endowment fund, the balance of the World Fund will soon stabilize and everything can be restored before the COVID pandemic. Thank you so much and keep safe always.
On behalf of District 3790, the Certificate of Appreciation is presented to past District Governor Virgilio Jun Farcon for imparting his insights during its District Training Assembly this 15th day of May 2021. Signed, Willie L. Serafica, District Governor, Rotary Year 2021-2022. This includes a token as a vote of thanks which was sent to you via courier. Thank you.
We now call on Joseph Angelo Jal Martres, past president of the Rotary Club of Baguio Summer Capital, to introduce the speaker on Rotary membership.
Ang ating pong tagapagsalita ay isa sa pinagmamalaki at minamahal na anak ng lalawigan ng Batangas. He graduated from the University of the Philippines with a degree in agriculture. To this end, he was recognized by the State University as an outstanding alumni for community service in 2009 and entrepreneurship in 2014. Giving back, he had his stint in public service with the University of the Philippines Los Baños National Science Development Board in 1977 and eventually with the Farm System Development Corporation covering regions 9, 10, and the 2 provinces of Lanao. He ventured into the private sector in 1988, where he created several corporations that were in line with his expertise: the distribution of veterinary products, manufacturing of probiotics, marketing of agricultural implements, organizing feed mills, and enterprising in food mixes. Rotary-wise, he was recognized as most outstanding president in Rotary year 1998 to 1999 with his home club, the Rotary Club of Metro Lipa, and was designated Group Study Exchange Team Leader for Japan in 2003. He was also appointed twice as Assistant Governor for his district and eventually elected as District Governor for District 3820 in Rotary year 2006 to 2007. As past District Governor, he has had various roles in serving his district up until today. Beyond the district, he continues to serve as technical advisor for the Rotary Foundation cadre. He was also our WASH ambassador for Asia and the Pacific since 2015 and our current representative to the Asian Development Bank. He is a third-level major donor of the Rotary Foundation and a recipient of the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and the 4 Avenues of Service Citation of Rotary International. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Rotarians, join me in welcoming a man who until today lives by the values honor and excellence. A fellow scholar ng bayan, our incoming Rotary Coordinator for Zone 10A for Rotary year 2021 to 2024, past District Governor Teotimo Onye Reyes.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Past President Jay, for that very kind and flattering introduction. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Sir, go ahead. You have perfect audio.
Okay. Thank you very much again, Past President Jay, for that very kind introduction, very flattering introduction. District Governor, yes. Incoming District Governor, Willie. Members of the Council of Governors of District 3790, high esteemed life-changing presidents, Rotarian leaders, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to all of you. Thank you very, very much for giving me the opportunity to speak in your training in the district level, a district with full of idolized, eloquent speakers with the like of past district governor and now Congressman Mark Go, who has been with me in the Rotary Leadership Institute, and of course, a pioneer Rotary coordinator, past district governor Oyan Villanueva. It is indeed a pleasure on my part to speak before you. My topic that I will share with you is about membership growth and development. Carpet tayo mag-move. We have organized actually 11 assistant Rotary coordinators. And these Rotary coordinators are scattered in the 10 districts in the Philippines with one young Rotaractor who will represent to cover up the Rotaractors in the Philippines and will be coordinating with the different district Rotaract representative. So these are the members of the membership coordinators for Zone 10A covering 10 districts in the Philippines. And for District 3790, we will be aiming high for the coming Rotary year with the main man, immediate incoming District Governor Willie, with Assistant Rotary Coordinator in a continuing capacity, Boboy Valles, as District Governor Boboy, and a very competent district membership chair as District Governor Linda Winter, with the support of district trainer as District Governor Alvin Gonzalez, training advisor PDG JP Kadaing, and the life-changing presidents. It will be a realization that the district will be struggling well in order to get in top. And of course, we have a good resource in as far as membership is concerned for the district as District Governor Oyan Villanueva. Kahit nawala na naman. Since the ayaw
Ito nga, click na po. Click niyo yung screen. Ito, pipindin niyo po. Tapos ito pang back lang.
Okay, just an opener for you Rotarians. This beautiful lady represents Rotarians and life-changing presidents with a goal to help membership development, knowing that it is a primordial activity of every Rotarian. Thinking the leadership and penmanship, the status of her club, who among my friends can be invited to meeting to encourage to be a member, or how can I help welcome and befriend new Rotarians? Can I initiate organizing new clubs? What changes can I make based on RI priorities and objectives? Development of strategies in as far as recruitment is concerned. How can I encourage and facilitate to retain all members? And developing at least 2-year or 3-year development plan anchored on the mission and vision of my club. So that is my eye-opener to all of you. Now, why do membership matters? Membership is a backbone in any organization. And in Rotary, it is the heart and soul that enables the Rotary wheel to rotate continuously. And as a reputable service organization, it can never keep itself in place to sustain its humanitarian and other related development activities if it will not increase in membership. Let me share with you some matters about Rotary. Since its founding 116 years ago, Rotary's role in the lives of its members, the communities, and in the world has always been in a continuous state of evolution. It is started with an offer of fellowship and friendships among members and build connections. Soon after, service has found itself in Rotary and in the heart of every Rotarian. With the Rotary Foundation and partners, we change lives of individuals and transport communities worldwide. Our initiative to eradicate polio has put us in a world stage. However, despite these successes, Rotary has been fairly static in membership, as it hovered only around 1.2 million members in the last 2 decades. And now, more than ever, we need a strong membership to make our organization stronger, more adaptable, more distinct and visible in communities worldwide. Membership therefore matters. And because of this, a strategic planning for membership growth and development is necessary and actually a top priority. During the February International Assembly, virtual assembly attended by the district governors-elect, RI President-elect Shikhar Mehta told, and I quote, "Dreams are made of crazy thoughts and ideas. What we couldn't achieve in 17 years, we can do it in the next 14 months, starting now. That is raising the membership to 1.3 million. How? The answer is each one bring one. And the target is really achievable. And President-elect Shikhar does encourage every Rotarians, particular Rotary leaders, to innovate and adapt while counting on Rotarians' ability, commitment, and leadership. What will be the goal? The goal for the coming year and even years is to grow more and do more while innovating and adapting to change while counting on the district and club leadership. Let me share with you the speaker, the 5-year membership trend. If you notice, we have going up, going down. It is not consistently going up, but it is worth appreciating with grand salutations the performance of this current year, having a high 2,771 members, an addition of over 180 compared to the record in July 1, 2020. It is therefore a very good indication, and it will serve as a benchmark to grow more. How are we going to grow Rotary? How to grow Rotary? There are 3 fundamental approaches in membership growth and development. And each fundamental approach is essential to overall membership initiative, which must be emphasized both in the club and the district level. It is where the strategic plan will be based, a 2-year, a 3-year, or even 5-year development plan. It is a conglomerated effort, every Rotarian's responsibility. Considering the 3 fundamental approaches, starting with each one, bring one, which is recruitment, and the next is engaging members and retaining all, and that is retention. And the third is developing and nurturing club models, preparing to organizing and developing new clubs. We are going to dissect it one by one to give you the view in deeper sense what its fundamental approaches wants to emphasize. But if we consider these 3 fundamental approaches, it is both a mindset and a discipline from beginning to the end, from beginning in establishing a benchmark until its realization. It will require systematic thinking by looking at the bigger picture, thinking beyond ourselves, looking beyond ourselves, looking beyond our term of leadership. The playground actually for incremental membership in District 3790 is bigger and richer. Altogether, we set our mind and discipline with focus and energy to reach every section of the playground. Embrace the power of education to grow and aspire to expand services to make life better. We have to grow actually in areas with no Rotary Club or where Rotary Club is underrepresented. We know in the past years how difficult for the district governor to manage the big area of the district, like the other 4 districts in 3850, 3860, and 3820. Leading is something very difficult to assume, let alone the volumes of communications required in the travel time in a normal environment. It is still a leadership responsibility and commitment to take in a longer scale for the betterment of Rotary and the district. So let's go it one by one. We are going to dissect it one by one. The practice of attracting and recruiting members. First step, we have to identify friends. Each one. It is just hard at the start, but you will experience creating more friends by reaching one. Reach friends in professional team or business associate and aspire to get closer friendships. Second is to discover the personality of the prospect. Discover both the visible and invisible characteristic of the prospect. Visible, the you and the prospect knows about himself, and you and the prospect and you doesn't know exactly the inner characteristic of the prospect. Discover these two characteristics. Know the prospect's interest, strengths, weaknesses, and other competencies. And on the third, invite and orient. Invite to a club meeting. The prospect, you invite in a club meeting, but the meeting must be productive and well planned. Personal visits by a group to the prospect, sharing the success stories of the club, the Rotary, and increase the club openers in the field. The good characteristics of the club that may appeal himself. Then recruit and induct. Hindi yung basta nakakita ng kaibigan, basta na lang hihilahin at i-recruit. We have to go to this process in order to celebrate that you got a good person, a good Rotarian. Recruit and induct, giving Rotary a chance in the prospect's mind. She has already, or he or she has already in the mind about Rotary. So giving a Rotary a chance in the prospect mind. Then the formal acceptance via induction. And very important, giving value and specialness to the new recruit that he or she must feel that indeed he or she is an asset to the club. Then mentor and nurture. Aspire to make more knowledgeable in Rotary. Provide him the updated information about Rotary clubbing and about Rotary as a whole. Updates, other Rotary information. Then allow him to join some activities so that the new member will experience being a true Rotarian. It's about time to celebrate. Celebrate that you will capture the moment that Rotary grows because of the new recruit who are an added strength and asset to the club for making it stronger. Then successfully, each one brought one. And combining these steps will form a circle of attraction and recruiting members. But the center is each one bring one. These are the process from identification until celebration, but it will be bounded by 4 factors: the communication, which is very important, and effective communication among Rotarians with the prospect to give him a value of specialness. Then we have diversity. Diversity in as far as recruitment is concerned will mean welcoming people of all cultures, backgrounds, age, gender, and religions, experiences, and identities. What about equity? Equity is just a fair treatment, carefully considering how to provide differing levels of support, opportunities, and resources. And inclusion will repair all people feel welcome respected, and valued in the club. Now, we go to the second fundamental approach, which is retention. And the retention is even more crucial and even more important than recruiting new members. Easier to maintain, less expensive. Retention is not just a leadership responsibility. It is everybody's responsibility. So what are the practices to retain members? As club president, I recommend to visit the learning center and go to the health club survey to assess the current state of your club. Membership, strengths, weaknesses of my club, and that will be your base point to create a plan for the improvement of the club. Engagement and involvement. It is very, very important. Engagement would mean connect to its members regularly. Hindi yun, lumipas ng isang buwan, wala pang communications coming from president, kumustahin man lang yung mga members. Then, rely on assessment and feedback from members so that you will be able to get the thinking if the leader is doing right or in the right track by getting feedback from members. We serve on committees based on interest. Each member must feel their importance by serving on an activity, a project, a committee, either as a chairman of a project or a chairman of the committee. Have a clear sense of club's long-range goal. What is the goal of my club? And out of this goal, we are going to do some performance tracking mechanism to determine if we are within the range of our goal. Encourage to attend events beyond the club, to increase membership, to diversify your network, and many other friendship activities. Third is the recognition and appreciation. This is very important, that each member feel appreciated by recognizing their contribution, big or small. Show each member some feelings of specialness, that you, pare ko, is a very important component of the club, that without you, we will not be performing this match. Invitation to parties and meetings, even virtual. Complete education and information. It is very important to update members, provide them the information about Rotary, what's happening in the Rotary, and what is the current news. Invite speakers and meeting for added knowledge and skills in members, be it a Rotarian or be it a private individual. Now, leadership, maturity, and succession. This is very, very important. This is the reason why some clubs die of a natural death. Select a leader with proven track record in Rotary. Hindi yung isang taon pa lang, just a one-year Rotarian will become a president. It will gonna be very difficult to execute Rotary leadership function in the club level if the president is only 1 year in Rotary. Motivating and encouraging teamwork in the club. Yes, discourage the practice of electing president or club leader who is only new in Rotary. Then attendance to Rotary events and fellowship. Club fellowship must be authentic. Authentic in the sense that the fellowship must be characterized by growth, development, individual freedom, and a carefree and restful encounters. Attendance to Rotary events expand network and friendships. Then, the practice of flexibility and innovation. This is very, very important at this very changing time. We have to change meeting schedule in a varying time and frequency. No need to meet so many times in a month because RI only require at least 2 meetings a month. Relaxed attendance requirements. Offer multiple membership type. Encourage young generations. This is important because flexibility is needed for the club to adapt to continuing change in a very, very unpredictable environment. It is very hard to resist change. Clubs, however, will only be successful if the activities will be aligned to change. Flexibility is one pillar that creates new opportunities to attract new members. It will also facilitate engagement of members, making them stay connected, especially during this pandemic, where social distancing and other health protocols are in effect. It is very important that in any possible ways, Rotarians keep connected with each and every member of the club. Flexibility and innovation are two fundamental pillars to enhance Rotary Club's impact in the new normal. Finding and adapting innovations for the improvement of Rotary clubbing and adapting some flexibilities while understanding the greater value of accommodating various types of memberships are fundamental things for the club to be vibrant and effective in the new normal. So we will go to the circle of engagement and retention. So these are the processes, the different factors that will facilitate to retain all members. And we have, again, communication, which is very vital. The center letter is you and I, communicating properly and effectively. And we have the equity, diversity, equity, inclusion, and friendship and retention. Diversity and retention refers knowing and understanding the trait and invisible differences among members. It's also about talking, active accommodation, and dialogue. Then, we have the inclusion, card, pumalpak na naman, card. Tumigil na naman.
Click nyo lang to.
For inclusion, for equity,
Close ko to.
it is a matter of extending equal opportunities and advancement for all members. Then, inclusion, creating environment with various differences, including tolerance of all cultures. It's very understood, and we have to apply the diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is better known in Rotary as the DEI. We're now on the third fundamental approach, which is organizing and developing new Rotary clubs. Why do we need to organize clubs? if we look at the District 3790 in a bigger picture, and I would say the area is bigger and richer. So we have to increase our rates and enhance connections. Second, to provide a more enjoyable and expanded membership experience. The third is to deliver increased impact towards diversity. And the fourth is to enhance Rotary's sustainability and relevance. In organizing and developing new Rotary clubs, it is not as easy as walking in the park. You need to have some processes, and let me share with you. First is you need focus and energy. So this is the focus and energy circle for reference. First step is to create strategies and organize the process. It must be carefully planned. Once we have we have already identified an area and identify the potential charter members, we create strategies and organize the process. Determine the right time frame. Do not fast track. Huwag niyong mamadaliin sapagkat anumang minadali ay mabilis masira. Then, encourage team commitment and accountability. It's very important. Once you have been a member of the extension committee, district membership committee, as a team, please exert your commitment and have some sense of accountability that we have to push through with this. Otherwise, the failure will gonna represent our failure. Get support of the district leaders. It's very important for the club to organize or sponsor a new Rotary club. It is very important to support the different district leaders from district governor, district membership chair, and the assistant governors, deputy district governors. They will be an important resource for the activities in organizing and developing a new club. Then, maintain your focus and energy. Walang atrasan. Evaluate the results. The club has already been organized and we are still in the process of developing them, making them think of Rotary and little by little experience being a Rotarian before submitting the papers and documents to Rotary International for charter approval. So what will be the target of this focus and energy circle is to organize clubs, either a passport club. A passport club are a group of people who keeps on traveling under when the environment gets normal. There are so many people traveling. The nature of work is to travel, and we can organize them, and they can attend the meetings in every areas of their destination where there is a Rotary club. Second is a corporate club. It's very common, especially it is adaptable in cities where there are many existing corporations. Then coast-based club, bikers, big bike motorists, so we can organize them as a coast-based club. Satellite club, this is very important. In areas where Rotary is represented or Rotary is not existing, or Rotary Club is not existing because it belongs to the third class as far as economic area is concerned, we can start with a satellite club. And as much that a satellite club only require 8 members. So it will be a starting point before gradually they can be a regular Rotary Club. Then the next is a Rotary Club. A Rotary Club doesn't need now a Rotary Club sponsor. The Rotary Club can be organized by themselves without a sponsor, or could be sponsored by the existing Rotary Club. And it doesn't have a limit in terms of age. They can go over than 30, 32 years old. Of course, from 18 years old. Then the Friendship and Family Club. Members of the family pulled together to be a Rotarian. Then Alumni Club, the vocational group team, the different alumni during the previous years. If we can recall them, and if they still the characteristic and the abilities to be a Rotarian, we can organize them, even starting as a satellite club. Then a regular Rotary Club. That's it. Now, with these three fundamental approaches, and with a continuous changing world, and being exposed to enormous challenges, which is very difficult currently, we must still rely on the core principles of the first is respecting people, respecting the prospects, respecting the existing members, and the fellow Rotarians. That is a matter of respecting them. Second, understanding the whole system in the district, in the different Rotary clubs, and have a mindset that anything, especially in our organization, be improved. Consider teammanship. Understand that the essential in Rotary is membership. We will need to adapt these principles to embrace change and adapt in line with our Rotary core values. How do we perform? How do District 3790 perform compared to other districts in the Philippines? It's good. 3790 has 2,771 members, and in the fifth place, behind 3810, 3800, and 3830. But if we are going to apply some ideas that I have shared with you, we can grow more Rotary and advance to more than 3,000 members in the next year. It will be a gargantuan task, but a great achievement. So what are the Rotary core values that I am trying to share with you? Again, the world today is not the same as it was during the time it was founded in 1905. Demographics have shifted. The pace of change has accelerated, and technology has created new opportunities for connection and service. What hasn't changed is a need for the values that define Rotary. And what are these values? Fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. By honoring the past, the performance in the past years, and embracing our future, we can evolve and keep Rotary not only relevant, but thriving. My fellow leaders, my fellow the life-changing president, especially all Rotarians in the district, please look beyond yourself and beyond your term of leadership. We have to look and think bigger, that your great achievement in growing membership will satisfy the district and Rotary as a whole. And that will be your legacy. And your legacy will serve as another benchmark for succeeding period which is still to grow more. We have to be resilient, firm, strong, and solid to embrace change in these difficult times. We have to exercise emotional intelligence by being aware of the environment and adjust to change. I remember a quote from Socrates: "The secret of change is to focus your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." We anticipate the District 3790 to be together as one and united to be able to take action to grow more and create lasting change in the communities and the district as well. If I may notice in the membership record of 3790, the areas of Ilocos, Abra, have only few Rotary clubs. There is one big club in Ilocos. There are clubs that has been terminated in those areas. Maybe it is very difficult to reach that area if the leadership will come from the lower part of Luzon, Pampanga, Zambales, or Pangasinan. I think we have to think bigger, to think bolder on how we are going to explore that bigger playground in those provinces and have Rotary be well represented in those provinces. In parting, I challenge each and every Rotarians, the District 3790 Rotarians, to be a part of the biggest challenge in Rotary membership. How do we meet the challenge? The answer is each one reach one, each one bring one in order to better serve, to change lives. Well, that will be all. Thank you all very, very much. But I would like to share with you that it will only be a big T, a big red T, a big yellow R, and a blue Y. All this will be the real you. Thank you all very, very much.
On behalf of District 3790, the Certificate of Appreciation is presented to past District Governor Timo Onye Reyes for imparting his insights during its District Training Assembly this 15th day of May 2021. Signed, Willie L. Serafica, District Governor, Rotary Year 2021-2022. This includes a token as a vote of thanks, which was sent to you via courier. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. you, Karta. Thank you.
Ito na lang i-move sa kanyang plate. Anong hindi na doon sa...
Sa ngayon po, nawalan na po kami ng source of income, lahat pong angkas biker, kasi pinagbabawal na po yung pagbiyahe ng angkas. Nagpapasalamat lang din po ako kay Angkas kasi meron po siyang ibang programa na Angkas po dala, which is magkikipag-partner po siya sa mga resto para mabigyan po yung mga Angkas biker ng source of income sa pang-araw-araw. Nagpapasalamat po ako kasi dito po ako nalagay sa Blue Open Distributor po. Maayos po yung kita ko rito, libre po yung food. Kaya malaking tulong na po yung kagaya sa akin na meron pong binubuhay na 2 anak. Ako nga po pala si John Philip Perez. Isa pong angkas biker.
There are a lot of heroes that can be found in the Philippines. The vision of the one is to find the unsung hero in every country. Can you imagine the impact, the difference we can make? I want to do great things. I'm a nobody. I will keep on trying to do great things, but only if I can do it with great impact. The one allows us to do that.
May I now call on Albert Atiwa Jr., past president of the Rotary Club of Baguio Summer Capital, to introduce the speaker on public image.
Good morning. Our next plenary speaker was born in Muzon, Alitagtag, Batangas on February 11, 1957. He earned his elementary education at Bawan East Central Elementary School in 1969, high school education at St. Teresa's Academy in Bawan in 1973, and finished 2 courses in college at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran in Intramuros, Manila, wherein he graduated with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Pre-Medicine in 1977 and Bachelor of Science in Accounting in 1980. He joined the Rotary Club of Downtown Batangas City in 1994 and was inducted as president for 1997, 1998, and was registered in the same year as a Paul Harris Fellow. For 26 years, he has distinguished himself as a Rotary leader, serving numerous positions in the club and district committees both as member and chairman. Batangas City to become district governor of this
Yung akin chat, hindi basahin.
2011-2012. He was the chairman of Council of Governors for District 3820 for 2013 to 2014. Was chairman for Luzon, Area Philippine College of Rotary Governors for 2013 to 2014. Assistant Public Image Coordinator, Zone 7A, 2017 to 2019, and Champion District International Service Chair for the year 2018. And now, he is the Rotary Public Image Coordinator of Zone 10A for the year 2019 to 2022. Our speaker is an advocate of education and literacy, and one of his most lauded projects in Rotary International, District 3820, is the Tawid Aral program, which benefits the poor and marginalized youth in the community. My friends, fellow Rotarians, to talk on Rotary's public image, let us welcome past District Governor Reynaldo Ray Castillo.
Thank you very much, Past President Albert, for your kind and generous introduction. Before I present my presentation this morning, I would like to recognize, of course, your transforming governor, Jess Sama, your incoming district governor, Willie Serapica, your district trainer, PDG Alvin Gonzalez, and your district advisor, my assistant regional public image coordinator, past district governor, JP Cadain. I also saw my classmate, past district governor, Digna Ragasa. To all of you, district leaders, dignitaries, good morning. Today, I will present to you about the public image of Rotary, which we must work together with our shared responsibility to uphold the public image and public relations of Rotary. These two are very important functions that shape the public opinion of our organization. When we say public relations, we inform the community about your Rotary events, activities, and projects. About public image, what Rotary stands for, and how we are perceived. With that, we can increase awareness and build our credibility. According to RI, public relation efforts are vital to Rotary's continued growth and service. Creating a positive image for Rotary is the responsibility of all Rotarians. When Rotary has a positive public image, members are motivated to participate in service projects. Prospective members are eager to join, and eventually it helps us increase our giving to Rotary Foundation. We all know that Rotary has a tremendous global impact for the past 100 years, including the decade-long charge to eradicate polio. However, why is it much of the organization's collective contributions were not being fully recognized by the public? So let me ask you, what is Rotary's public image? Rotary's public image isn't just what we think of ourselves. It's also what people outside of Rotary think about us. It is who we are, what we do. It is the experience. It is the impact that we make to ourselves, to others, and to our community. Getting people to recognize Rotary's name is a start, but our work needs to go farther. Talking about Rotary in ways that explains what we do and the impact we make is essential to enhancing people's understanding and inspiring them to get involved. Our public image is shaped by what people have heard or haven't heard about Rotary, which can lead to misconception. Our public image is shaped by how we talk about Rotary and how often. If we are not telling Rotary's story to the public, their impressions are often made of half-truths. This can harm our public image and weaken our brand. It is the concept, the notion, the thoughts. In other words, reputation is formed by the idea and judgment the general public has about our organization. Public image is how the public is interpreted as, and the reputation it upholds in the community. So what we need is a strong public image. This is our Rotary brand that we must use. I believe this is a strong brand. Why? Because it is simple, recognizable, and consistent. We have a strong visual identity and we are instantly recognizable without saying a word. To us Rotarians, yes, but to others, we are still getting there. Our mark of excellence, our Rotary wheel, and our master brand signature, I hope and I believe someday, no matter where we are in the world, when people see these visuals, they can easily name our brand. They will say it's Rotary. They are people of action. They know what we stand for. Rotary is a symbol of an organization who takes action. Rotary should be synonymous to action. When people recognize our logo everywhere and understand who we are, it is a tribute to all sacrifices and commitment of all Rotarians worldwide who are doing good to the world.
How can you help your club build a strong public image? Our club's interactions with the community greatly influence how people think about Rotary. And to help your club build a strong public image, number one, publicize our projects and activities to influence our club is perceived. Two, share stories about how our club's projects affect the lives of people in our community. And three, present our club as vibrant members and people of action. When negative stories dominate the media, there's no better time to show Rotary's member as people of action, identifying challenges and taking action in our own communities to make things better. Now, are you familiar with our Rotary strategic priorities and objectives, which we call it the action plan? And since we're people of action, it makes sense that this plan is called the action plan. Our plan will guide us. It draws on the knowledge and skills we've developed in our professional lives and encourages us to use our collective imagination to bring fresh ideas to our organization.
Now let's tackle it one by one. Number one, increase our impact. How will you help increase our impact? Before you begin, consider what we mean by impact. The long-term effects and result of programs or projects. As you think, how about your club can increase the impact? Take inventory of what you're doing now. Which activities have a bigger impact and which have a lesser impact? Prioritize the ones that have impact so you can focus on activities that make more of a difference and to increase our impact, eradicate folio, and leverage the legacy. Focus our programs and offerings. Improve our ability to achieve and measure impact. And bring together professionals from different fields and industries to increase a club's capacity to serve. The second strategic priorities and objectives of the action plan is to enhance participants' engagement. How do we make our organization welcoming to all and worth other people's time? One good thing about a strong Rotary brand is that it will change the misconceptions of some people about Rotary. And to enhance participants' engagement, one, we must listen to members. Listen to feedback from members, participants, and the community. Make adjustment to create an experience they'll find compelling. Number two, we must provide opportunities with our leadership skills, planning and delegating to public speaking, and managing the work of volunteers. We must also stay in touch. Consider everyone who encounters Rotary to be a participant. Encourage them to stay involved. The third strategic priorities and objectives of the action plans is increase our ability to adapt. To increase our ability to adapt, we have to try new ideas. Allocate funds to do something new. A project, social gatherings, or an activity during your meeting. If it's successful, expand the activity. If it's not successful, learn from it and move on to your next ideas. We must also streamline the structures. Look at your club's leadership structure and administrative process. Determine what is outdated and should be changed, what can be eliminated, and what you do especially well, and make adjustments to take advantage of new technology and other developments. Involve bigger groups. Ask more members, programs and participants, and community members about their ideas and opinion. And the fourth strategic priorities and objective of the action plan is to expand our reach. The question is how we can attract more people to Rotary. How we can involve those who are not working with us. By expanding our reach, we must grow and diversify our membership participation. Create new channels into Rotary and increase Rotary's openness and appeal and build awareness of our impact and brand. We can also expand our reach. We need to demonstrate that we value the talents and ideas of our partners and new members. We must also invest in relationships. Which organizations have the biggest impact in your community? Does your club have relationships with these organizations? Do you do projects with them? Get to know their leaders. If the organizations share our values, find opportunities to work with them. We must also be open and welcoming. How our guests and new members treated in your club is very important. How are they welcomed warmly and encouraged to participate? Do all members have a say in Rotary activities? Are members of the community involved in projects and events? In expanding our reach, we must also diversify. As you look for community leaders and professionals who share our values, make an effort to talk with those who are different by profession, age, gender, ethnicity, race, religion, socioeconomic class, or abilities. And last but not the least, to expand our reach, build awareness of our brand. Do people in your community know what your club does locally? Do they understand the personal growth that members and other participants get from hands-on service? Telling our Rotary stories gives people hope that the world can change for the better and invite them to imagine themselves as part of the change. Now, let me talk to you how to build a strong Rotary band, my dear fellow Rotarians. Number one, to build a strong Rotary brand, this is very, very important. I hope you will remember this. Number one, we must have a consistent visual identity in voice. If all Rotarians are consistent with voice and visual, it will build awareness and increase recognition regardless of the place. A strong brand identity doesn't happen overnight. This requires a constant and changing identity and voice. We should not leave our brand open to a variety of interpretations and non-conformities. Our brand should build awareness and develop trust and loyalty with people. Consistency of our brand across all platforms is more important than ever. Number two, consistent, compelling communications. People must understand what we are saying. People must understand what we acted upon. We are connectable. The content connects to people and we will win their hearts and minds. Carefully chosen pictures and words can easily affect, influence, or persuade an audience. Crafting the right message on different platforms will produce memorable brand experiences. Compelling communication is to convey meaningful information designed to stimulate action, for people to join Rotary, for people to volunteer, and for people to donate for our cause. Number three, offer consistent and positive experience. Rotary branding is not just about following the guidelines in correct branding, but it is also important for people to actually experience how Rotary serves people and the community. For an undernourished child to be fed by a Rotarian, for a displaced family affected by a natural calamity to be given a shelter by a Rotarian, these are actual positive experiences which help further strengthen the brand and image of Rotary. Our brand will resonate with people. They will associate Rotary with heartfelt experiences. And the last but not the least, we must be a brand champion. We talk, we share Rotary. People must appreciate what we are doing, especially in social media platforms. In a modern world where the fight for people's attention is fierce, it is critical to stand out from the crowd in order to succeed. We, Rotarians, should be the strongest, most vocal advocate of our organization. We must be able to motivate our audience to support our mission. We should also be the Rotary brand's guardian and who will protect it against negative publicity. We, Rotarians, should be the living embodiments of the brand promise. We should live and breathe the brand. I hope you will agree with me that some clubs and districts often use images, graphics, and materials to represent who they are, but sometimes it doesn't accurately reflect Rotary. With a strong and consistent Rotary brand, the public will become more aware of who we are and what we do. When Rotary members and clubs consistently represent our brand, always remember to have a strong brand. Consistency is the key. Selling Rotary stories, we strongly encourage to focus on developing human interest and personal experience. Our stories should be about people and their problems, concerns, or achievements in a way that brings about interest, sympathy, or motivation in our audience. Share your story. Great brands tell story. Through stories, we share passions, worries, and joys, and we find common ground with other people so that we can associate and communicate with them. That is why it is important to tell your Rotary story, but we must tell our Rotary story through people of action, being able to connect with our audience. Telling stories is a great way to promote our work because stories are engaging. Stories bring our brand to life and show how Rotary makes a difference. Stories show the public the good work we do and the impact we make in our communities. So share your stories. Now let me ask you, what's your story? All of us have beautiful, remarkable stories to tell. How many times have you shared your Rotary stories that someone says, wow, it's amazing stories. I want to join your organization. So what's your story, my dear fellow Rotarians? And why do you need to share your Rotary stories? Because we want our story to create an impact, to make them feel, I wish I can do the same thing and inspire them to join us. Now that we have answered your what stories to tell, now tell me why you think your story is worth sharing. Tell me why you think it will generate interest. Will our stories will win hearts, change minds, differentiate, connect, influence others through our stories? What conflict your action has resolved? Does your action resolve something? If there is nothing to overcome, there is no story. The stories should create an impact to make it worth sharing, and we should tell our stories through people of action. And what is People of Action? The People of Action campaign is designed to build understanding of Rotary by answering what is Rotary? Who are Rotarians? What impact do Rotarians make in our community and around the world? And how is Rotary different from other organizations? The People of Action campaign brings the Rotary brand to life by highlighting what happens when community leaders within Rotary join together, share their vision, exchange ideas about solutions, and then take action to make it into reality. To help club tell stories more effectively, Rotary uses messaging called People of Action that focuses on what we do and how we change lives. These messages that highlight our impact are designed to inspire potential members, partners, and donors to engage with us. The People of Action narrative provides a simple, consistent answers to the questions. What is Rotary? It rallies us around a single idea, telling and showing the world that we are people of action. We must also remember that people of action is more than a marketing campaign. It is who we are. It's a way we can talk about ourselves so that the public sees Rotary as we do. Volunteers who use their connections and expertise to take actions and solve problems in their communities and around the world. Presenting Rotarians as people of action helps others understand us and help us build connections with potential members, volunteers, and donors. And now, fellow Rotarians, how can we be a brand ambassador? This is very, very important. How can we be a brand ambassador? And to be a brand ambassador, we must lead by example. When properly used, the Rotary logos and campaign materials, others will follow you. Number 2 is speak up. If you see someone use the Rotary logo in a way that doesn't follow brand guidelines, say something. Remember, it's not about telling people they're wrong, but it's about offering guidance and making improvements. And number 3, share resources. The Brand Center has everything a Rotary member needs when it comes to promotional materials. Encourage members to visit the brand centers to download logos and promotional materials. Also, share blogs, posts, and articles about Rotary's brand. The Brand Center features a number of resources to help Rotary clubs tell their stories of local impact in a way that inspires audiences to engage with us and takes action.
Again, my fellow Rotarians, let us all remember that we as Rotarians must be a brand ambassador. We can tell the story of Rotary and how we are people of action in communities worldwide. We want to ensure that all Rotarians can support our effort to enhance awareness and understanding of Rotary. We want to be known as one of the most respected organizations in the world. And now, are we ready to be a brand ambassador? Are we ready to be consistent in using our Rotary brand to build a strong public image of Rotary? Are we going to implement and adopt our action plan? And are we going to share and tell our Rotary stories through people of action?
If the answer is yes, I believe we as Rotarians embrace change and strive to promote transformation and connection through our service projects and activities. Our brand inspires the people and tell our story that we, Rotarians, are people of actions. Thank you very much for listening, and good morning again to all of you. Thank you for inviting me. Magandang umaga po ulit.
On behalf of District 3790, this certificate of appreciation is presented to past District Governor Reynaldo Ray Castillo for imparting his insights during its District Training Assembly this 15th day of May 2021. Signed, Willie L. Serafica, District Governor, Rotary Year 2021-2022. This includes a token as a vote of thanks which was sent to you via courier. Thank you.
This brings us to our lunch break until 1 p.m. After lunch, please proceed directly to our breakout rooms. Each breakout room has a separate Zoom ID. Room 1 is for membership development. Room 2 is the Rotary Foundation. Room 3 is public image. Room 4 is club administration. And Room 5 is service projects in the 7 areas of focus. Again, please memorize breakout session. At the end of the breakout session, I will see you back at the outdoor plenary. For those of you who have some time, please go to rcbsc.net to look at the District 20 Assembly partners as well as featured Rotary clubs inside our Friendship Hall.
Sa ngayon po, nawalan na po kami ng source of income, lahat pong angkas biker, kasi pinagbabawal na po yung pagbiyahe ng angkas. Nagpapasalamat lang din po ako kay Angkas kasi meron po siyang ibang programa na Angkas po dala, which is magkikipag-partner po siya sa mga resto para mabigyan po yung mga Angkas biker ng source of income sa pang-araw-araw. Na nagpapasalamat po ako kasi dito po ako nalagay sa Blue Coupon Distributor po. Maayos po yung kita ko rito, libre po yung food. Kaya malaking tulong na po yung kagaya sa akin na meron pong binubuhay na 2 anak. Ako nga po pala si John Philip Perez. Isa pong angkas biker.
So anytime po, you can visit the Friendship Hall at rcbsc.net and you can find your virtual rooms for the breakout sessions. Have a great lunch, everyone. See you back at 1 o'clock.